Apologize. You made Ashley cry. I rushed to help my sister, but our locks were changed, our car was keyed, and my wife was accused of crimes she didn't commit. Then the family demanded apologize because I embarrassed Ashley. So I gave them something to really be embarrassed about. It started with a text from my sister Ashley at 1:13 in the morning. Emergency. Can you come over? Please don't ask, just come. I stared at the message. Ashley had a talent for dramatics, always the victim, always some fire to put out. But this felt different. The tone wasn't whiny, it was frantic. I got out of bed, whispered to my wife Jenna that I'd be back soon, and grabbed my keys. When I pulled up to Ashley's place, the porch light was flickering and the front door was wide open. I walked inside and found her crying in the kitchen, barefoot, clutching her arm. There were dishes shattered on the floor and her husband, Todd, was nowhere in sight. I asked what happened. She said Todd had thrown a glass, not at me, just in anger, and had driven off. My gut clenched. I never liked Todd. Loud, opinionated. Too much beer, too little empathy. But Ashley insisted it was just a fight and not to call the cops. I helped clean up the mess, made her tea, sat with her until she stopped shaking, and finally drove home around 4 a.m. 2 days later, she called me again. This time she wanted to stay with me and Jenna for a week tops. Jenna, being the person she is, said yes before I could even weigh in. That week turned into 3. Ashley took over the guest room, our laundry schedule, and eventually our nerves. She had excuses for everything. Why she couldn't help cook or clean. I'm mentally drained. Why she was always on her phone, just checking on things. Why she wasn't going back home. He's still too angry. Jenna started to ask quiet questions like, do you think she's really leaving him? And why does she keep texting him if she's scared of him? I had no answers. All I knew was we were constantly stepping around Ashley like she was a sleeping bomb. Then one afternoon, she left a note on the fridge that she was feeling better and heading back home. We both breathed a sigh of relief. A week passed, then came the party. Ashley invited us to a backyard barbecue to thank everyone for supporting her. That should have been the first red flag. Ashley's idea of gratitude usually ended in chaos. Jenna didn't want to go. I didn't either. But we agreed. Show our faces. Be polite. Leave early. It was one of those too loud, too drunk, poorly timed family gatherings. Todd was already hammered by the time we arrived. He greeted us with a fake grin and 2 beers in his hand, one for each fist. Ashley acted like nothing had ever happened. She hugged Jenna like they were best friends and laughed a little too loud at every joke. I stayed close to Jenna and tried to ignore the way Todd kept eyeing her. He'd always made offhand comments about her being too hot for someone like me. But tonight he was fully unleashed. Midway through the night, he clinked his beer bottle with mine and leaned in with a smirk. Hey man, seriously, how'd you land someone like Jenna? Did you trap her with a kid or something? I stared at him, tried to laugh it off. Nah, just got lucky, I guess. He leaned closer. Come on, you know she cheats on you, right? Women like her don't stay faithful to guys like you. They get bored. I froze. Jenna was across the yard talking to Ashley's neighbor. I could hear the blood pounding in my ears. Excuse me, just saying. Don't act like you've never thought about it. Hell, if she ever gets tired of playing house with you, I might show her a real good time. He winked. Before I could say a word, Ashley laughed. She'd been standing behind him the whole time. Todd, stop. You're so bad. No one else said a thing. Some people laughed. Some stared at their drinks. That was the moment. Right there. I turned around, walked straight over to Jenna, and whispered, we're leaving. In the car, Jenna asked what happened. I told her every word. Her face was calm, but I could see her jaw clenching. When we got home, I sent Ashley a message. You let your husband disrespect my wife in front of everyone. We're done. She didn't reply until the next morning. It was a full paragraph of gaslighting. You're being too sensitive. It was just a joke. You made a scene for no reason. You embarrassed me. Then came the calls from my mom. Then my uncle. Then Ashley again. All with the same message. Apologize. You made Ashley cry. You ruined the party. Jenna said I didn't owe anyone anything. My gut agreed. But then my dad called. Said I was blowing up the family over something stupid. That I should have defused the situation. That I should apologize for storming out and making everyone uncomfortable. I haven't replied to any of them. I'm not even sure what hurts more, the way Todd humiliated me in front of people or how everyone else is pretending I'm the villain for walking away. 2 days after the party, Ashley showed up at my front door. No call, no text, just knocked like she was delivering Girl Scout cookies. She had sunglasses on and carried a bottle of wine like we were still friends. I didn't open the door fully, just stood in the frame. I came to make peace, she said, like that would magically erase everything. I told her I wasn't in the mood. Look, she said, Todd was drunk. He didn't mean it. It was just a joke. You've taken this way too far, and now mom's depressed, dad's pissed, and everyone thinks Jenna overreacted. That's when Jenna stepped into the hallway behind me and asked one thing. Would you have laughed if he'd said it about you? Ashley looked confused, then offended. Then she said something I'll never forget. Jenna, don't be so sensitive. You've never really been part of this family. I shut the door in her face. 3 hours later, the group chat exploded. My mom. Ashley said she tried to apologize and Jenna slammed the door in her face. My cousin Melissa. Honestly, it's not that big a deal. Can't believe this is still going. My dad. You're tearing this family apart over your pride. That word again, pride. That's when I finally responded. Let me make this clear. Todd made disgusting comments about my wife. Ashley laughed. I left. No one stood up for us. You all just watched. Now you want me to say sorry for walking away? I won't. I muted the chat. Later that night, I got a call from my uncle Rob. He's one of the few decent ones. Straight talker. He told me Ashley's been going around telling everyone that I attacked Todd after he joked with me and that Jenna screamed at people and called everyone trailer trash. None of that happened. Rob said, I don't believe her. I just thought you should know. The next morning, Jenna showed me screenshots from a Facebook post Ashley made. It read, it's sad when people show you who they really are, especially family. No one's perfect, but attacking someone just because they're happy and you're not, that's next level petty. The comments were full of sympathy and sending love, and one comment from Todd that said, glad I've got you, babe. The rest can stay mad. Ashley had turned the story into a pity party, and nobody asked why we walked out in the first place. That week, my mom called every single day, left voicemails I didn't return. Jenna told me to block her. I couldn't. Then came the dinner invite. My dad said, let's just sit down, all of us. No yelling, no accusations, just talk. I made one rule, Todd doesn't come. They agreed. We showed up to my parents' house Sunday at 6. Todd was there, beer in hand, smiling like the devil who just won. I turned to walk out, but my dad blocked the door. Don't be dramatic. He's family. Jenna whispered, we should go. Ashley came out of the kitchen and threw her arms around me like we were best friends again. Come on, I made your favorite lasagna. It was surreal. They had cooked, set the table, lit candles like this was Thanksgiving. Todd sat at the head of the table. I swear the whole thing had been staged. Halfway through dinner, Todd raised a glass and said, to family, even the ones who get their feelings hurt when the truth hits a little too hard. Jenna stood up. So did I. I told everyone that we weren't staying for dessert, that I wouldn't let a man who insulted my wife toast over her plate. My mother begged me to sit down, said I was being unreasonable. Then my dad slammed his glass on the table. You're not better than us just because you married someone pretty and don't have kids. That hit harder than it should have. We walked out. Again, this time, no one followed. The next day, Jenna told me she was done with my family. She said, I let it go for years. But when someone laughs while their husband humiliates me in public, I'm not coming back from that. She wasn't crying. She wasn't even angry. Just tired. I'd never seen her like that. And she was right. They crossed a line. But then it got worse. Because Ashley posted a photo of our wedding on Facebook. Captioned, if only people valued real love more than appearances. She was unraveling. Jenna deleted her account that night. Said it wasn't worth seeing anymore. And I felt something shift in me. Like a switch flip. They weren't just defending Todd. They were choosing him. Next morning, I went to work early. Needed to focus. Clear my head. At 11:04 a.m., I got a text from Ashley. Hope you're happy. Todd's lost a job opportunity because of all this drama. Our marriage is on the rocks. I hope you and Jenna sleep well at night. I didn't respond. I had nothing left to say. The next day, I thought I'd finally caught a break. No texts, no missed calls, no notifications. Then I opened my email. Subject line, regarding your conduct at the family event. It was from HR. Someone had sent an anonymous complaint to my employer saying I had anger management issues and had caused a violent disruption at a private gathering that required police involvement. They attached screenshots of Ashley's Facebook posts and one blurry photo of me standing outside my parents' house looking upset, probably taken from a window. I felt cold. I knew it couldn't go anywhere. I hadn't done anything. But that wasn't the point. They were trying to rattle me, to punish me. I called Jenna. She picked up on the first ring. It's them, isn't it? That night we installed cameras around the house. Front yard, backyard, even one facing the mailbox. I wasn't taking chances anymore. Then came the phone call from a number I didn't recognize. Jenna picked up by accident. It was Todd. He left a voicemail. You think you're untouchable? Let me remind you, you walked into my house talking tough. You embarrassed my wife. You're lucky I didn't embarrass yours. I kept things light, but you better start apologizing before I stop being nice. He was drunk, slurring, but very clear on what he meant. The following morning, my wife's car was keyed. She parked it at the gym while running an early workout session. 3 words were scratched into the driver's side. Enjoy your pride. We filed a police report. Nothing came of it. Of course not. No cameras in the lot. No witnesses. Just a scratched up car and a paper report to show insurance. When I told my mom about it, just to see if she'd show any concern, she sighed. Maybe if you two stopped acting so smug, people wouldn't be so angry. No defense. No shock. Just blame. I told her I was going no contact. She said, don't be stupid. Family is everything. And hung up. That evening, I got a message from my cousin Becca. Just 3 words. You need to see this. She sent me a screenshot of Ashley's private Instagram story. In it, Ashley held up a sonogram, not hers. It was Jenna's, from 2 years ago, back when we thought we were pregnant, back before the miscarriage. Ashley had saved it and was now claiming it was her. The caption said, some of us build family, others just throw tantrums. I saw red. I called her immediately. She didn't answer, so I drove straight to her house. Jenna begged me not to go, but I couldn't help it. When I got there, Todd opened the door like he'd been expecting me. I didn't say a word. I just held up my phone and showed him the screenshot. He looked at it, shrugged, and said, so what? You're not using it. I almost lost it. I clenched my fists, took 1 step forward, and he laughed. There it is. That temper they were all talking about. I walked away before I did something that would get me arrested. Ashley texted me that night. You made your point. Take the stick out of your back and stop being a drama queen. Next day, my dad showed up at my work. No warning. No appointment. Just stood in the lobby like he owned the place and told the receptionist he was there for a family emergency. sympathy. I work in a corporate office. He showed up in a baseball cap and sunglasses like he was incognito. He asked to speak to me outside. I refused. He yelled in front of a coworker, "You better fix this mess before you end up with nothing." Security walked him out. That night I changed the locks again, just in case. The next morning I found our trash bins flipped over, garbage scattered all across the driveway. Nothing stolen, nothing damaged, just violated. Jenna found a half-burned photo of us in the yard. The bottom corner was charred. The middle was slashed with a knife. We called the police again, filed another report. Same outcome, not enough to pursue. Then it happened. The letter, typed, folded clean, left in our mailbox without postage. Apologize or we take everything. There are ways to make your life very difficult. This is just the start. Call it off. No signature, no fingerprints, no proof. I showed it to the officer who came to file the trash report. He shook his head. If you've got enemies, they're pretty invested. No kidding. 3 hours later, Jenna got an email from her boss. Somebody had sent them a fake Yelp review claiming she was verbally abusive to students, calling her unfit to teach. The person claimed to be a concerned parent. She teaches private fitness lessons to adults. There are no kids. It was obviously fake, but that wasn't the point. They wanted to break us down. And every day, they tried something new. That night, I opened the group chat, the one I'd muted weeks ago. Ashley had posted a photo of Todd passed out drunk in a recliner with the caption, "This man stood up for his family." The other one ran. There were 12 likes, all family, including my mother. 2 days after the trash incident, Jenna and I got served a cease and desist letter. Ashley and Todd had hired a lawyer, one of Todd's old drinking buddies, who claimed Jenna had slandered their family and spread malicious lies that affected Todd's employment. It was 4 pages of nonsense designed to scare us. There was no real case, just words, just heat. But that wasn't the point. It was never about winning. It was about breaking us down. That same evening, someone spray painted the word fraud on our driveway. Black paint, center of the concrete. No cameras caught it. I had one pointing at the door, not the drive. I stood there staring at it, heart racing, chest burning. Jenna came out and just said enough. We spent that night cleaning it with vinegar and a pressure washer. Didn't even speak, just work, scrub, rinse, tried to act like it wasn't all catching up to us. But it was. The next morning, Jenna got a call from her doctor's office. Someone had called pretending to be her husband and tried to gain access to her medical history. They flagged the call and reported it, but they couldn't trace who made it. We both knew who it was. That same day, I got an alert from my credit monitoring app. Someone tried to open a line of credit in my name at a mattress store, a freaking mattress store. I called my dad. It went to voicemail. I didn't yell. I didn't threaten. I just said, "If you're okay with this, you're not my father. I'm done. Don't call. Don't text. Don't come near me." Then I blocked his number. I blocked Ashley. I blocked Todd. I even blocked the aunts and cousins who were always neutral but liked to comment, "Family is complicated," under Ashley's posts like that meant anything. Then Jenna's dad called. He lives out of state. Retired military. Real quiet man. Barely speaks unless it's necessary. But this time he said, "I've seen enough. Do I need to come down there?" I said no, but part of me wanted to say yes. 3 nights later, 2:14 a.m., someone rang our doorbell. Once, twice. I checked the camera. It was Todd, standing there in the dark, alone, hands in his pockets. I didn't open it, just watched through the screen. He looked up at the camera and said, "I know you're in there. Just wanted to say sorry. Don't leave me out here." He knocked again, softer, then louder. "We're family, man. You're gonna leave me out here like I'm some freak." Jenna whispered, "Call the police." But I didn't, because deep down I wanted to know what he wanted. After 2 minutes of silence, he turned and walked back to his truck. Next morning, we found a folded note under the doormat. "I'm not the enemy, but keep pushing me and I will be." That same day, my boss called me in. Apparently, someone had submitted an anonymous tip to corporate suggesting I was under investigation for domestic abuse. There was no report, no police file, but someone had used a burner email to claim I shouldn't be in a leadership position. I laughed when he told me. He didn't. When I got home, Jenna was sitting on the stairs, just staring. I asked what happened. She didn't answer. She held up her phone. Ashley had tagged her in a new post. It breaks my heart that my own family would lie about abuse just to get sympathy. But I forgive them, because that's what real women do. The photo? A photoshopped screenshot of an old bruise she got from roller derby in 2019, cropped to look like it was on her cheek. Comments were full of sympathy. "Be strong. Some women are too proud to admit it. She deserves better than that guy." I felt something inside me shift. No more waiting. No more being the better man. I wasn't going to yell. I wasn't going to fight, but I was going to end it. I pulled out my phone and opened the folder I'd been building for weeks. Screenshots, voicemails, the Instagram post with the stolen sonogram, the voicemail from Todd, the email to HR, the spray paint photo, the cease and desist letter, even the HOA alert from weeks ago when they tried to report me for noise complaints that never happened. Every petty threat, every fake claim, every dig. I emailed it all to one person, my lawyer. Subject line, ready. 2 hours later, I got a call from her office. "Let's go nuclear." My lawyer didn't hesitate. She said we had more than enough to launch a civil suit for harassment, defamation, and emotional distress. The voicemail from Todd, the fake Yelp reviews, the attempted medical breach, even the vandalism, they weren't just annoying. They were actionable. We filed within 48 hours. Todd and Ashley were served on a Thursday morning, at their doorstep, in front of their kids. I wasn't trying to be petty, but I wasn't going to protect people who'd spent weeks trying to destroy my life. That evening, Ashley called 14 times. Then she left a voicemail. "You really think dragging your own family into court makes you the good guy? You just lit the match. Don't blame us for the fire. I didn't respond. Instead, Jenna and I packed a bag and left town for the weekend. I booked a cabin 3 hours away, no cell service, no drama. We needed air, but they didn't stop. Sunday night, I got an alert. My credit card had been used for $497 at a local electronics store near Ashley's house. I froze. I hadn't used that card in weeks. Hadn't lost it, but I knew exactly how they got the number. A few weeks earlier, Ashley had asked to borrow my laptop charger while she was staying with us. I didn't think twice. Left her alone with my desk for 10 minutes. 10 minutes too long. I reported it immediately. Canceled the card. Filed a report. Jenna looked at me and said, "They're never going to stop." I nodded. Not until we destroy the illusion that they're untouchable. Monday morning, their lawyer called mine. He sounded rattled. Said Todd and Ashley were open to a private resolution. Translation: they were scared. My lawyer told him no. No deals. Full trial or full surrender. That same afternoon, Ashley made her biggest mistake yet. She sent a mass email to our extended family, dozens of aunts, cousins, even old family friends, saying Jenna and I were suing for attention and that Jenna had faked a miscarriage to manipulate sympathy. That crossed a line no one had dared cross before. I posted every receipt, every screenshot, every voicemail. I didn't hold back. I dropped a Google Drive link in that same email thread. Title: Truth, since Ashley can't handle it. It included a full timeline of harassment, photos of the vandalism, the fake Yelp reviews, the edited sonogram post, a transcript of Todd's thread at 2 a.m., the police report from the medical ID theft attempt, a side-by-side comparison of Ashley's Instagram bruise and the 2019 roller derby photo, same leg bruise, rotated and tinted. And then, the cherry on top, a private message Ashley sent Jenna 2 years ago that said, and I quote, "I don't get how you're always so composed. If Todd ever talked to me like that, I'd smash his teeth in." That message sent from Ashley about her own husband. She forgot she'd ever sent it. Silence. Total silence for 2 days. Then my cousin Julia texted me. They're screwed, and everyone knows it. The same day, my parents showed up at our door. Not knocking, just standing on the front step like ghosts. I opened the door just a crack. My mom spoke first. "You made your point, but you've gone too far. This is still family." I didn't blink. No, it was family. You chose to stand beside the people who tried to ruin us. My dad tried to talk. I shut the door. That night, they left a letter in the mailbox. No apology. No remorse. Just, "This isn't what your brother would have wanted." As if Todd was the victim. 3 days later, Todd was fired. Turns out my lawyer had sent his employer a cease and desist with all the evidence of his involvement in harassment. She never told me she'd done it. Just wanted him to feel what we'd been feeling. He posted a video on Facebook that night, drunk, eyes glassy. This is what happens when you try to help family. They spit in your face. The comments were brutal. He turned them off after 2 hours. Ashley? She shut down every account, deleted Instagram, locked Facebook, unfriended dozens of people. Rumor is she tried to claim mental distress from us and called her lawyer to find out if she could sue back. Her lawyer dropped her as a client 2 days later. Meanwhile, Jenna and I, we started getting messages. Some from family apologizing. Some from people we never expected. We always knew Ashley was full of it. "I just didn't want to get involved, but I'm glad you finally exposed them. I'm sorry I didn't say something sooner." Then came the final blow. Ashley and Todd showed up at my parents' house to hide, but they weren't welcome anymore. My mom called me, said she and dad were rethinking everything, said she felt ashamed. 3 weeks after we filed, I got a letter in the mail from Ashley, handwritten, on lined paper like she was writing from camp. "I'm sorry, I went too far, but you have to understand I was hurting. Todd lost work. People turned on us. I didn't mean to ruin anything. I was scared. I just wanted to be heard." There was no mention of Jenna. No mention of what she said about our miscarriage. Just excuses. She ended it with, "Please don't go through with the lawsuit. Let's fix this. We're still family." I handed it to Jenna. She read it once and tossed it in the trash. The court date came and went because they didn't show. Their lawyer filed a motion to withdraw days earlier. The judge issued a default judgment. We won. Todd and Ashley were ordered to pay $18,000 in damages and legal fees. They didn't have it. They tried to stall, claimed hardship, claimed they were financially devastated. Todd posted a GoFundMe titled, "Wronged by Family. Help us fight back." It raised $37 before it was deleted. Then came the explosive twist nobody expected. Jenna's friend, who works in real estate, forwarded us a flyer. Ashley and Todd were trying to sell their house, except it wasn't their house. It was my parents' house. Turns out, in a last-ditch effort to stay afloat, they convinced my parents to transfer partial deed access to them 2 years ago under the idea they'd help renovate and modernize it. Ashley had convinced my mom to co-sign a home equity loan. Now they were trying to flip it and keep the proceeds. When my parents found out, my mom had a panic attack and ended up in the ER. My dad threatened legal action. The entire family chat exploded. Screenshots leaked. Everyone turned on them fast. My mom told me in a voicemail, "You were right. We let them rot the whole tree." Then Jenna's phone buzzed. It was an email from Ashley. One line, "You win. We're leaving town." They moved out within a week. No more flying monkeys saying, but their family.